A lot of people, they ask me after I've performed, they come up to me and they ask, hey, you didn't look nervous at all up there. Wow, how do you do it?
In a story that blurs the line between miracle and music, Angelica Hale's rise to fame reads like a cinematic masterpiece, but it began with something no child should ever have to endure. Born in Atlanta, Georgia in 2007 to a Filipino mother and an American father, Angelica's early life was marked not by applause, but by a near-death experience that would shape her entire future. Before she could even form sentences, she was rushed into intensive care battling double pneumonia, a ferocious bacterial infection that led to multiple organ failures, including her kidneys. Doctors feared the worst as her small body shut down, and her parents were left grasping onto a thread of hope. In what can only be described as a defining moment of motherly sacrifice, Angelica's mother gave her one of her kidneys, saving her daughter's life and unknowingly planting the seed for an astonishing future. What began as a fight for survival evolved into a story of resilience and raw talent that would one day capture the hearts of millions. From hospital beds to talent show stages, Angelica Hale became a symbol of what's possible when courage meets purpose, and her journey was only just beginning. At just 2 or 3 years old, Angelica Hale's name wasn't trending on YouTube or lighting up search engines. It was being whispered in hospital corridors as doctors raced to keep her alive. Her illness was aggressive, rapid, and relentless. Diagnosed with double pneumonia, her immune system quickly collapsed, triggering multiple organ failures that left her clinging to life. The infection was so severe that even seasoned medical professionals considered her survival a long shot. But while machines beeped and IVs dripped in sterile silence, her mother made a decision that would forever redefine their family's fate. She donated her own kidney to her daughter. That act of love and sacrifice not only saved Angelica's life, it etched the foundation for what was to come. It was a painful, emotional chapter marked by uncertainty, but it ultimately gave way to something extraordinary. As she slowly recovered and began finding her voice, quite literally, those around her realized there was something even more powerful inside her than her survival, her gift for music. This was not just a child who had overcome tragedy. This was a child who was meant for something bigger, something the world had not yet heard. The miracle before the music was not only physical, it was deeply spiritual. Angelica Hale didn't just get a second chance at life, she took it and rewrote the script entirely. When Angelica Hale walked onto the America's Got Talent stage in 2017, she wasn't just another child contestant hoping for a few kind words from Simon Cowell. She was a 9-year-old with the heart of a fighter and the voice of a seasoned diva, armed with a backstory that would bring even the toughest judges to tears. The world had no idea what it was in for. From her very first note during the rendition of Rise Up, the entire audience was frozen in awe. Her pitch, control, and emotional delivery seemed far beyond her years, so much so that the judges had no choice but to elevate her to golden buzzer status. And this wasn't a fluke. Performance after performance, she delivered powerhouse vocals that echoed through millions of homes. She sang Whitney Houston. She belted pop anthems. She outshined contestants twice her age. In a season filled with heavy hitters like Mandy Harvey and Preacher Lawson, Angelica carved out her own lane, ultimately finishing in second place just behind ventriloquist Darcy Lynn. But her loss didn't feel like a defeat. It felt like the beginning of something much bigger. That finale marked her arrival, not her peak. And for a girl who was once on the brink of death, standing under the spotlight of one of America's biggest stages was nothing short of destiny fulfilled. After her show-stopping performances on America's Got Talent and securing a runner-up title at just 9 years old, many assumed Angelica Hale would quietly fade from the limelight, as so many child stars do once the confetti settles. But what followed proved she was far from a fleeting phenomenon. Angelica returned to the stage in 2019 for America's Got Talent. The Champions, a global competition that brought together some of the most iconic acts in AGT history. This wasn't just a comeback, it was a statement. She stepped back into the spotlight, older, stronger, and with a voice that had matured into a richer, more powerful instrument. Though she didn't take the top prize, her presence among the champions reinforced her place as a rising star with staying power. But what's most remarkable is how she managed to pivot from traditional fame to digital dominance. Instead of riding on the coattails of her AGT appearances, Angelica took full control of her narrative, building a digital platform that showcased not just her voice, but her personality, resilience, and creative versatility. She transitioned seamlessly from TV to the internet, leveraging her fame into an authentic brand rooted in inspiration and talent. With every cover, vlog, or live session, she reminded her followers that her journey wasn't over, it was only evolving. While other child stars chased the next gig or endorsement, Angelica quietly built an empire on her own terms, proving that her spotlight wasn't borrowed, it was earned. Long after the applause of live audiences faded, Angelica Hale found a new stage, one that didn't rely on judges or television ratings. This stage was digital, borderless, and pulsing with global fans ready to watch her next move. With YouTube as her launchpad and TikTok as her megaphone, Angelica cultivated an online empire that turned her into one of the most influential young singers of her generation. Her YouTube channel alone boasts over 3 million subscribers, with her stirring cover of Mariah Carey's Hero amassing more than 22 million views. On Instagram, over 1.1 million followers keep up with her personal updates, music releases, and behind-the-scenes moments. But what makes her digital rise so compelling isn't just the numbers, it's the authenticity. Unlike many viral stars who rely on trends or gimmicks, Angelica built her brand around raw, consistent talent. Her covers are emotionally rich, vocally challenging, and always delivered with the kind of polish that turns casual viewers into lifelong fans. She embraced the fast pace of social media without compromising her artistry, using platforms like TikTok to connect with younger audiences who might never have seen her AGT performances. And instead of chasing fame, she curated it, shaping her public image with the wisdom of someone twice her age. Angelica didn't just adapt to the new music industry, she anticipated its evolution, positioning herself as a versatile artist ready for both the digital charts and the global stage. Her online empire isn't just a product of algorithms, it's the result of strategic brilliance and undeniable charisma. Just as her momentum on social media seemed unstoppable, 2023 threw Angelica Hale and her fans a curveball that sparked outrage and confusion across platforms. Without warning, her popular TikTok account, home to countless covers, duets, and candid moments, was suddenly banned. The official explanation? She was allegedly underage. But the math didn't add up. At the time of the ban, Angelica was already 15 years old, 2 years beyond TikTok's minimum age requirement of 13. The ban felt not just unwarranted, but deeply unfair, triggering waves of support from her global fanbase who demanded answers. Angelica herself took to other platforms to clarify the misunderstanding, expressing her frustration while maintaining the composure of a true professional. In a heartfelt video, she addressed the issue directly, reminding viewers of her age and emphasizing how damaging such an abrupt action could be for young creators trying to build honest careers. Despite submitting multiple appeals and attempts to recover the account, the platform remained silent. But if there's one thing Angelica has mastered, it's the art of the comeback. Instead of retreating, she started over, creating a brand new TikTok account and inviting her fans to join her once again. In mere weeks, the new account began climbing, amassing nearly 100,000 followers, a testament to both her influence and her audience's loyalty. This moment revealed something powerful. Angelica's connection with her fans wasn't built on numbers or viral hits. It was built on trust, perseverance, and an unshakable sense of self. And in the face of digital injustice, she responded not with anger but with resilience. In a year marked by digital triumphs and frustrating setbacks, 2023 also served as a deeply emotional milestone for Angelica Hale, one that brought her journey full circle in the most profound way. This was the year that marked the 10th anniversary of her life-saving kidney transplant, an event that not only gave her a second chance at life, but also unlocked the future she was always meant to live. For most teenagers, a decade is just a number, but for Angelica it was a reminder of everything she had overcome. The infection that nearly claimed her life, the surgical procedures that followed, and the recovery process that could have broken her spirit, these were not just memories but battle scars she carried with grace. On social media, Angelica didn't treat the anniversary as a somber reflection, but as a celebration of resilience, love, and growth. She paid tribute to her mother, whose selfless kidney donation had made it all possible, calling her the true hero behind every note she sings. It was a moment that humanized the superstar and reminded her millions of fans that behind the stage lights and polished vocals was a young woman whose life had once hung in the balance. The transplant anniversary wasn't just about survival, it was about intention. Angelica Hale doesn't sing for fame. She sings because she's alive to do so, and every performance, every upload, and every fan interaction is layered with meaning that most people can't even begin to comprehend. A decade later, her voice carries not just melodies but memories, echoing the message that miracles aren't just medical, they're musical too. As Angelica Hale continues to mature both as an artist and as a young woman, whispers of her next big move have started circulating within fan communities and entertainment circles alike. And in 2024, the speculation is louder than ever. One of the most intriguing developments is her rumored participation in AGT Fantasy League, a spin-off show that's bringing back 60 of the most iconic talents from previous seasons for a high-stakes return to the stage. Though Angelica hasn't officially confirmed her appearance, her name is listed among the potential contestants, and fans are already casting votes in her favor. If chosen, she would join 39 others for what could be her most electrifying return yet. This isn't just about nostalgia, it's about evolution. Should Angelica re-enter the competition, she'll do so not as the child prodigy we first met, but as a seasoned performer with a decade of experience and millions of loyal supporters behind her. The stakes are higher, the expectations greater, and the spotlight even brighter. Meanwhile, rumors suggest she's also working on original music behind the scenes, with cryptic social media posts hinting at potential studio sessions and collaborations. Whether it's new singles, an EP, or even a debut album, fans are ready. The industry is ready, and perhaps most importantly, she's ready. After years of adapting, growing, and refining her identity, Angelica's next chapter could very well be the one that catapults her into mainstream stardom, not as a talent show contestant, but as a global recording artist in her own right. Angelica Hale may have captured hearts as a child star, but she's no longer just the little girl with the big voice. At 16 years old, she's entering a transformative stage of her life, one that is shaping her not only as a performer, but as a person. Gone are the days of being defined by a single competition or viral moment. Today, Angelica is intentionally crafting a new identity, one that reflects her maturity, ambition, and sense of purpose. Her style has evolved, her presence is more grounded, and her message is clearer than ever. Through her content, she advocates for resilience, kindness, and the pursuit of dreams, despite obstacles, values that echo deeply with her diverse audience. She's also begun to use her platform for advocacy, subtly amplifying conversations around organ donation, youth empowerment, and female representation in the music industry. What's remarkable is how she balances it all: the creative drive, the public persona, and the very real challenges of growing up in the spotlight. While most teens struggle with identity in private, Angelica does it in front of millions, yet she does so with grace, humor, and authenticity. She's no longer just surviving, she's thriving. And with every project she launches and every message she shares, it becomes increasingly clear that Angelica Hale is not just a name from the past, she's a voice for the future. Whether through music, mentorship, or media, she's laying the foundation for a legacy that goes far beyond the stage she started on. In a digital world crowded with fleeting trends, clickbait fame, and manufactured stardom, Angelica Hale's story stands out not because it's loud, but because it's real. From a toddler on life support to a global performer, with millions of fans, her journey is one of grit, gratitude, and growth. But what makes her story still resonate, years after her first audition aired, is not just the survival against all odds, or the viral vocals, it's the evolution. Angelica is not a one-hit wonder, or a forgotten talent show contestant. She's a living, breathing example of what happens when heart meets hustle. Her setbacks, whether medical, digital, or emotional, haven't dimmed her light, they've sharpened it. Every note she sings carries history, every performance is backed by purpose, and every online interaction deepens the bond with a fan base that has grown up with her. She's not just remembered, she's followed, supported, and anticipated. As she steps into her late teens, and potentially into new territories like original music, acting, or activism, one thing is certain: Angelica Hale isn't done, she's just getting started. And in an era where authenticity is currency, she might just be one of the richest voices of her generation, not just in talent, but in truth. Her story matters because it's still being written, and if the past is any indication, the next chapter will be even more unforgettable.